another daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. I hope everyone's doing all right on this Friday the 13th and got through it okay without any bad luck or anything like that. The channel members will, of course, know what happened to me earlier on with the old car. I won't kind of go into too much detail, but let's just say I'm a bit ripped off, to say the least. Now, I've got a bit of a problem today. You can probably notice I'm in different surroundings, and that's purely because all I've got is the Merc to do the live stream in. So we're going to have to see if we can muddle through things just a little bit and see how we get on. But first, as always, let's have a look and see who we've got here. Where are we? Hi, Alan Pape, Bloodnose, John Harrington, Cheryl from Cardiff. Yeah, on time for a change. Good to see you. Alan Pape, yes, you are there having a good old chat away. I like it. Julie Keys, hello to you from Yorkshire. Yeah, some of the usual suspects, really, isn't there? Well, you're not suspects, really, but you know what I mean. Healing Vibrations, hello to you. Julie Baldwin as well. Zena, Diana Powell, William Coakley Hill, you're here as well. Mark Hampson, and various others. And if I've missed anyone, I do apologise. Well, today, who's this? John the Computer Doctor, all the best from York. Well, today's been a bit of a shit one, really, in terms of work and everything else. And I've had my run of bad luck for the proceedings, so we'll have to do. Now, for the next few days, when I do a live stream, it's going to be in here. I don't have a lot of choice in the matter. Circumstances have dictated that, I'm afraid. And yes, we're back in the old Mercedes, how things used to be in the old days. Jerry Georgopoulos, to answer the question, not great. All I've got is the Merc. Very posh. John McAllister says, yes, it's a little bit cramped and I don't have too many spaces to put things. I mean, let me show you this. Okay. This is like the interior of the Merc, and you can see my Coke habit. I kind of fancied a change the other day and done a bit of the old Pepsi Max. And you can see that's supposedly a bit healthy. And there we go. That's my tablet there where I can pull up the news articles. So we're just going to have to get by. Can I hide in your basement again, Andy? Some dinghy diver says. So there you go. That's my Mercedes. Very comfortable, but not exactly practical for what we're doing here. But never you mind. Well, I put some content out earlier today, of course, with regard to certain things. And, you know, the girl, I say girl, the woman who's got terminal cancer, an absolute inspiration, really is. I couldn't believe I was reading it. As I said, my wife was following that story. I've got to do something with this phone. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah, my wife was following that story for a long time. Oh, there we go. That's better. And you know, she was moved to tears basically by what this lady had done. Very, very, very brave. And you know, you can't say any more than that. I hope everyone's okay with where I've just put the camera. It's kind of in a place in the corner of my car. I can't stand there like that for an hour or sit there like that, really. It'll drive me nuts. We just have to get by. Now, I was looking at the news today, and I don't know if everybody remembers what happened in America a short time ago. There was the guy that opened fire on the subway, wasn't there? Frank James, and decided to, you know, basically try and shoot everybody and cause chaos and everything. Well, of course they got him, didn't they? They arrested him fairly quickly, giving all the consideration to the matter. I think he was found in a McDonald's, and part of it was he actually turned himself in as well. He got on the phone and he said, "Hey, hello, I'm here. Come and get me. I'm a mad son of a bitch. I need arresting." It was one of those. Well, he's in the papers again today. I found an interesting article. And just to remind you what he looks like while I balance that coat there, let's find him. Yes, there we go. Mr. Frank James. That's the man of colour, to be politically correct, being put into the back of a police car. You're looking worn out, Andy. Take care. I'm all right, Cheryl. Appreciate your concern. It's just been one of those days, and I'm a bit pooped, but that's run of the mill. Yes, here we go. Subway shooter Frank James pleads not guilty to federal charges after injuring 24 people during an attack in Brooklyn. He's out of his freaking mind. The gunman who allegedly opened fire on a subway in Brooklyn before going on the run has pleaded not guilty. Well, he went down the subway and he was dressed in this like boiler outfit, helmet, mask, and various other things, trying his hardest to conceal his face from everybody. And now he's pleading not guilty. He had a carry case thing with weaponry and everything else in, and that was found on the subway with his credit card and other various pieces of evidence. He was seen exiting the subway, and all of the evidence points to him. So how does he plead not guilty? I don't get it. Somebody just said they were there when it happened. Yeah, Joe Burgess, Andy, we were in New York when it happened. It must have been terrifying. It was in the Brooklyn area, wasn't it? I don't know which part you were in. Frank James denied he took part in a terrorist attack, violence against the mass transportation system, and discharging a firearm during a crime of violence. There was a Glock recovered from the scene, and high-capacity rounds, and there was more than one of them. So high-capacity rounds, high-capacity magazines. He wanted to do some damage. He really wanted to do some damage. Gary Moore's, for now, I'm in the murk. There's been some delay with the bus. It isn't a case of it's no more. It will return, but not quite as speedily as I hoped. Frank James denied he took part. The accused shooter, 62, was hit with a federal terror charge by a grand jury last week. I knew this had gone to the federal level at the time because they were worried about if it stayed with the district attorneys over in the New York, Brooklyn area, he'd be treated very softly and let out. But, it's the right place. James also faced a second count of discharging a firearm during a crime of violence over the April 12 attack in Brooklyn. The federal charges have been filed in addition to prior counts filed against him by the Southern District of New York. James will be tried on them separately. The earlier indictment accused him of terrorist attacks or other violence against a mass transportation system, and it carries a life sentence if convicted. So, why did he plead not guilty if he's in prison for the rest of his life? Oh, yeah, it's where he deserves to be, isn't it? It's what he's done. Last month's shooting at Sunset Park saw 10 people shot, 23 injured. All of those who were wounded in the incident had actually survived, thank goodness. He remains locked up in a New York City jail ahead of his next court appearance. Prosecutors say James staged a premeditated attack when he shot 10 people and injured others on the northbound North End train at around 8:25 a.m. on April 12th during rush hour. James dressed in a construction worker's vest and helmet. donned a gas mask, rolled smoke grenades into the carriage before proceeding to open fire. Videos from the scene showed hundreds of commuters frantically running from the exits as shots were fired. A 24-hour manhunt then ensued, with the Bronx-born Milwaukee-based subject ultimately arrested while strolling down the street on April 13th. He wasn't strolling down the street, he was sitting in the goddamn McDonald's. And just to show people what actually happened, there's subway imagery. People getting off the train there. There's some other more graphic pictures on here, but I won't show those. Let's see what else we've got. In court documents the next day, prosecutors detailed how more ammunition was found in James's rented Philadelphia apartment. Included extended magazines, which we already spoke about. They were fit for a semi-automatic rifle. No such firearm had been found yet in connection with this incident. His 9mm handgun was found at the 36th Street subway station after the attack, along with spent shell casings, fireworks, and the key to his U-Haul, which was the van that he left parked outside the subway. So, you know, all of that pins him to the scene, yet he pleads not guilty. Police also searched a storage unit in Philadelphia where he was keeping more ammunition, a torch, and a silencer. There was a propane gas tank in the U-Haul when police swooped in on it hours after the attack. James dumped the truck 5 miles from the 36th Street subway. He was filmed walking away. James's motives remain unknown. He has a criminal history extending back to 1992, and he pleaded guilty to attempted petty larceny and was known to the FBI's Guardian program. So he was in the system, he was known. And the Guardian program actually tracks terror threats and suspects. So, you know, there was potential there, wasn't there? At the time, he was cleared of any wrongdoing, but in a YouTube video posted just one day before the attack, James said that he intended to harm people. I can say I wanted to kill people. I wanted to watch people die, he said. Other videos featured James ranting about discrimination and complaining about white people. So, totally unhinged by the sound of it. They're now being closely examined by law enforcement. I suppose they're vital evidence, aren't they, really? We get anything else from them. Mayor Eric Adams has suggested that it was the responsibility of YouTube to monitor the videos and report them. There's a corporate responsibility. We are watching hate brew online, Adams says. I've got no time for him, sorry. We can identify using artificial intelligence and other methods to identify those who are talking about violence. Critics accused Adams of passing the buck, noting that the surveillance cameras, I remember this, they weren't working, allowing James to flee. And the NYPD failed to find him despite him wandering around Manhattan for almost 24 hours after the attack and eventually calling the police himself. Earlier in the month, James's lawyers accused FBI investigators of breaching his rights by swabbing his cheek for a DNA sample and making him sign papers without asking for permission from his legal team or ensuring they were in accordance with James's legal rights. Further details of that interaction at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Correctional Center have not been shared. So that's just the legal eagles trying to get it all swept away. I think I'm not so sure about that, but we will see. I'll keep an eye on that case, and if anything else does transpire, I'll let you know, because it's quite an interesting one there. But let's retreat to the chat again. But before I do, this is the daily chat with Andy, the Gabby Cabby. I'm sat here in the old Merc with the Coke on the go here. I appreciate you all coming to see me on Friday the 13th. Ooh. Now, the issue I had with the bus has otherwise detained it. Great, and I'll update you on that as well. If you haven't done so already, everybody, Please subscribe to the channel and give the video one of these a thumbs up. Get that chat going. We'll get the old algorithm talking about it. But, yeah, somebody's just commented they can't see my face properly. Now, the other thing that I did, which was a bit silly of me, my phone holder that I use for the live streams, I left it in the damn bus, didn't I? So I'm having to kind of improvise today. We'll have to see. Anyway, let's have a look. Alan Reader, hello to you. Yes, Julie Baldwin, I see you done your job as a moderator, and I think that person shouldn't be very long of this world, if you know what I'm referring to. I have to unload the wagons on my 5 a.m. shift. It's heavy work. God, I bet it is. Where do you work, Alan? I keep meaning to ask that. Hello, Patricia Shaw. Good to see you. Yeah, thanks, Christine Ayres. I'll refrain from reading that one. Yeah, John Harris, I just said the thing about my face. I mean, I'm like this, aren't I? It's this damn steering wheel. I mean, this is the only place I can put the phone in the Merc, really, without you know, falling around everywhere. Yeah, no way I'll do that. They tried to get me to unload the lorries once, not doing it again. As I'm a woman now, not a bloke, I ain't got that strength. I suppose what happens, Christine, when you transition? I mean, tell me if I'm being too personal, but do you actually lose your strength through you know, medication that you have to go? I mean, I'm just asking from a side of ignorance. I haven't got a bloody clue. You know, it's just the whole process. John Harris, hello to you. Good to see you. Oh, yes, we got a right old spammer in the chat here, haven't we? Do the necessary, Julie, please. Thank you very much. I've done 3 cages of yogurt, 3 cages of ready meals, and another 2 cages of beef and chicken today. And a cage of confectionery too. Totally knackered. I bet you are. It sounds knackering. Where are we? Here's news, Andy. A 20-year-old son of 2 coppers in Ascot, who drove and killed 2 innocent people, got off scot-free as his parents paid $800,000 compensation to the relatives. $800,000. What price do you put on a life? Especially when it's taken in circumstances like that. That's crazy, I think. Today is the day King Philip the Fair of France effed the Templar Knights. That's why they really hate it. They've made their trauma our phobia, and it's really a holiday. So I open a bottle. Cheers. Or a can in my case. Mind you, it was a bottle of vodka last night. That was quite good, I have to say. Tell me about it. We work like mad to keep the shelves filled. What's going on here? I'll read that later. PJ Mosley, why do people worship guns so much? You know, it's culture, isn't it? I mean, Second Amendment in America, you're allowed to carry a firearm, or to name it specifically, bear arms, the right to bear arms. Now, you have people in America that shouldn't even have a firearm. They're not mentally, you know, to be able to operate one safely and properly and all the rest of it. And then the answer to people who carry firearms seems to be, let's carry a firearm too. And then you have a country that has a firearm culture. And it's a bit like nuclear weapons in the world. The only way, in my view, that you're ever going to cure this nuclear problem is for everyone everywhere to put them down altogether. And, you know, the same is true of America. But the problem is it won't happen. It never will, because, you know, it's such an inbuilt part of their culture going back hundreds of years. And I'm sure we have, you know, similar things in Britain as well. It's but yeah, why do people worship them so much? I've fired guns. I mean, you look at the Alec Baldwin situation where they're talking there. Oh, I didn't know there was a live round in the gun. You know, I was spitting feathers at that one because it's basic firearm safety. You check, but they can do some damage. They really can do some damage to people. Where are we? Good to see you again. I'm surprised he wasn't shot by the police. Incidents in London usually are. Yeah, that's right. Shoot first, ask later. Alan Reader, nice night out, Andy. Andy, you look absolutely worn out. Perhaps you need a holiday and a break from the output of videos for your well-being. I'm okay, healing vibrations. I really am. I just need a good night's sleep and I'll be fine. Evening all. I'm guessing the bus is no more here. We've already done that. Okay. Yeah, this is the PJ Mosley. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Totally agree with you. One thing with that as well, there was a piece of video footage of him rehearsing this thing, and he was cross-drawing and pointing, and you could see very clearly his finger was on the trigger. And the whole thing with rehearsals is to rehearse it to get it right for the real thing. So it's for the judge and jury to decide at the end of the day, but I know what I think and other people, but there you go. Listen, everybody, this is the daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. We've had to improvise today. We probably will have to for a few more days yet because of the situation with my car. But, you know, it is what it is. We'll get by all right. If you haven't done so already, can you please hit the thumbs up button on the live stream for me? I'd appreciate that. We need to get that number up to somewhere near 100, and the algorithm starts being nice to Andy the Gabby Cabby. And if you're new here as well, and you like what you see, and you like a daily chat and everything else, please consider subscribing to us as well, because there is other content that goes out during the day. It's either highlight clips from these chats or something else, depending on, you know, how I do things. But we've got the core of the Andy's army here, and we always have, so I appreciate it. Anyone ever heard of the actor Fred Ward? He's been in a few stuff. Tremors, Escape from Alcatraz, and one of my personal favourite films, The Right Stuff. Well, I was sad to see today that he's passed away at the age of 79. I mean, we're going through a period again, aren't we, where people are going. Tremor actor Fred Ward has died aged 79. The star also appeared in The Right Stuff and Escape from Alcatraz. He died on May the 8th. His publicist, Ron Hoffman, confirmed the news in a statement which read, "I'm sad to announce the passing of acclaimed actor Fred Ward, who passed away on Sunday, May the 8th. It was Fred Ward's wishes that any memorial tributes be made in the form of donations to the Boston University Chronic Traumatic Encephalopathy Center." I can't even say it, but I guess you get it right. Hoffman added that he spent his final years growing his passion for painting. Ward's cause of death has not been shared. At 79, well, the San Diego-born star spent 3 years in the U.S. Air Force before turning to a Hollywood career and studying acting in New York before making the move to Italy, where he dubbed Italian films. He made his debut in series The Age of Medici before appearing on the big screen in Hearts of the West in 1975. In 1979, he took on one of the most notable roles as John Anglin in Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood, Patrick McGoohan, and Larry Hankin. Following this, he went to land a string of TV and film roles, including Gus Grissom in The Right Stuff. I love that movie. And Henry Miller in Henry and June with Uma Thurman. Ward also played Earl Bassett in the popular franchise Tremors before reprising his role in a sequel in '96. In his later career, he had roles in Road Trip, Grey's Anatomy, Sweet Home Alabama, and 30 Minutes or Less, with his last outing in the 2015 episode of True Detective, appearing as Colin Farrell's dad. Ward is survived by his wife, Mary France, and his son, Django Ward, from a previous marriage. So, yes, another one gone. My condolences to Fred Ward's family, and got a great big body of work there left behind. Bless him. It's, we seem to be going through that stage again, don't we, where many people are starting to go again, and it's not great. Not great. But let's have a look through the chat again and see how we're doing, shall we? Somebody's mentioned Ruski. Ooh. Let's go down to the bottom there. My aunt married the brother of the real Birdman of Alcatraz. He held a gun to her head one night in New York. This is Adrian Bradley, after which she promptly divorced him. Yeah, some people kind of put up with that far longer than they should, don't they? And, they do it once, you get out. I remember Police Off the Cuff did a section on domestic violence and had some ladies on there talking all about it and trying to raise awareness. And it's awful, some of it. Can you see Christine? I cannot. Why is that? Zena, I've seen Christine. A couple of comments up from you, so I don't know what's happening there. Dave Carr, not sure. NHS takes forever. Yeah, don't they just? The only thing I remember about Tremors was when they got the elephant gun, but I'm probably even misremembering that. Tony Whitworth, BBC staff are getting a 5% pay rise while they rob pensioners. Yeah, that's it. The TV license, what's happening with that? It's ridiculous, isn't it? It needs getting rid of, chucking out the Stone Age. Lack of hair growth could be down to bad quality shampoos. I could not see Christine. Can you tell her to get salon shampoos? There you go, Christine. Get salon shampoos, Zena says. She's saying she can't actually see you on here. And it almost sounds like you're shadow banned from each other or something. PJ Mosley, why do most women live longer than most men? I have absolutely no idea, but that seems to be it, doesn't it? How you doing with the special links I sent you, Andy? Yeah, not too bad. I was having a play earlier, Julie. We'll come up with something in the next few days. If you have the right to defend from tyrannical government, silence in the ranks. Was it even necessary to actually point the gun at the person? Couldn't they do it by computer trickery? Stink Pooter, well, you've got rubberized guns now. I remember seeing a making of one of the Star Wars films ages ago, and it wasn't a gun, it was a lightsaber, but they put a real metal one up, which they used for filming, against a prop one that was rubber. And they look completely identical. You couldn't tell them apart. So things are so clever these days. I don't know why they didn't. But also, I don't think there's any centralized kind of control over gun safety either, which I think there really should be. My dad was a sergeant major, so you can imagine how difficult that was for me. Oh, I bet. Right. It's my damn hair. I shave it off and wear a wig if it don't grow soon. Ha ha. Such a okay. We're getting a bit biological in there by the look of it, with everything. But you're having a good conversation and helping each other. That's the main thing. Alan Pape, YouTube going downhill. Alan told me to do this. You see me? Alan Pape, let's see if it works what you said. Dad only was brought to the Rutland Centre in Dublin. Man was sentenced for a baby. No words to describe him. Apparently now Devon and Cornwall's Police Commission is asking the regional crime reporters not to call these people pedos. I don't know what world we're living in, Tony Whitworth. It's disturbing, isn't it? There's only one punishment for that crime. really. YouTube has blocked my emojis. I don't know how it's done that, Alan. There shouldn't be any emoji problems around here. I got a timeout last stream for saying something about a silly Irish band that sang in a war bunker. Declan Toomey says, I don't know about that. Brandon Lee, unluckiest human in history. 1,000,000,000 to 1 chance it happened to him. Oh, God, yeah. Well, with rounds in movies, how they distinguish between them, you've got the real one, which is, I mean, there's two parts to a bullet. There's the actual casing, and then there's the projectile itself with gunpowder inside, and then there's an igniter on the end of it, which the hammer of the gun strikes to set it off. Now, what they do with blanks, they turf out all the ignitable, flammable stuff from the inside. They put a little tiny BB in it, so then you can pick it up and rattle it, and then you can distinguish the difference between a real bullet and a fake one. And there, there's various things. I mean, what happened with Brandon Lee? Apparently, they bought a collection of ammunition to the set, and they needed a blank for something, but there wasn't really such a thing as a blank for movies at that point in time. So they took this bullet apart, scooped all the ammunition out, all the gunpowder out, and put it back together again, thinking that was it. But apparently there was a tiniest fragment left. Put it in, bang, and it was enough to set the gun off. Very, very tragic chain of events. And you think people would have learned? Andy the Gabby Cabby, cheers, Andy. Can you please ask Christine why she has blocked me? I have no idea. I have same issue with here. Can't see her channel on here either. YouTube blocking us from each other. Divide and conquer by the looks of it. Yeah. Zena, Christine wouldn't have blocked you. She has problems where she ends up getting booted off channels and keeps having to resubscribe. I mean, she's a subscriber of mine, and she's had to resubscribe quite a few times. So I don't think it's that. I think it's just YouTube playing silly buggers. Andy's channel, thanks. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate that. What happened with Partygate? Oh, Christ. I saw that mentioned in the thing earlier, Jerry, and I'm sick of it, to be honest. Matt Michael, I have tickets for Camp Quirky. I'm trying to give them away because I can't go. Cost me 107 quid. 1 man and 1 van for this weekend. Free. Okay. Tony Whitworth, the planet does not need more successful people. The planet dangerously needs more peacemakers, healers, restorers, storytellers, and lovers of all kind. That's the Dalai Lama. Very, very wise words, that. I remember Fred Ward now. He played Kevin Bacon's mate in Tremors. That's right, he did. And he died. But let's be honest, that's the only good film we knew him in. Oh, I beg to differ. As I said, one of my favourite films is The Right Stuff, but I'm a aviation enthusiast. Okay, I think we caught up with all the comments. One other thing I saw today as well, let me pull this back up again. I'm on the old Coke. Well, apparently it's safer than water because there's a thing here. People warned against drinking tap water because of a rogue algae in the system. Residents of a Welsh village have been told not to brush their teeth using tap water after it's believed algae was detected in the system. Letters were sent to people in St Athan in the Vale of Glamorgan telling them not to drink the water or give it to their pets. This is yesterday. Instead, the residents of the 2 streets affected were told water would be brought to their homes instead. However, some people live in there, and pictures show they're having to take it from collection points instead. Derek Wilmot told the paper the water issue is believed to stem from rogue algae in the water supply. Well, how the hell did it get there? The issue is affecting ex-MOD houses in what's known as the East Vale. Large quantities of bottled water have been delivered today, which is good, as last night it was a bit fraught. I don't think the company had prepared for the enormity of the situation. One resident, Holly Darch, spoke of the confusion as people lined up in the streets to receive the water supplies. She said the letter said we would receive the bottled water at our address, but then we found out via a Facebook post that we had to go to a collection point instead. We haven't been told what's wrong with the water, as they are still investigating, but we only found out there was a problem this afternoon. So everybody has been using the water all day, which is worrying. On Facebook, residents also voiced their confusion over this. Ben Sprudd wrote, "The residents of our estate have no clue what's going on. You would think there would be some organisation by the management team or the water company themselves." In a letter dated May the 12th, Ansela Water Services apologised for all the trouble caused and stated, "Important, do not drink or cook with tap water supplied to your building. Routine sampling of the water supplied in your area has identified that it's not meeting the high standards required. Until further notice, therefore, please follow the advice below." Residents were therefore told not to drink tap water, not to use it to cook with, not to brush their teeth with it, and finally not to feed it to pets. It's however safe to do laundry and to bathe or wash in the water. Okay, I've never heard of that one over here yet. You usually have other countries, don't you, where they say don't drink the tap water, go down the store and buy all the bottled stuff. It has done for years, but who knows. I still watch Top Gun, one of the best of its type. I want to see the new film. I'm really looking forward to that. There is a bit of a sneak peek out there with it. Hi Andy, eclipse of the moon this Monday, 3:30 a.m. Looking southwest. Madness Andy, yeah, absolutely. Hi Andy, and all in chat. Having a dog named Shark at the beach was a bad idea. Hi Alan Edge, good to see you. Andy the Gabby Cabby, the reason Dad got away with his crime was Judge said living with my mum has boots, mental health, drove him to the point of desperation. Declan Toomey, you too. I wish I could put emojis in my comments, but my computer freezes. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Some of you can and some of you can't. Sam Ryder, our Eurovision entry, actually has a good song. Sounds something similar to what Queen would have wrote in their time. But betcha Ukraine wins as the current thing. Yeah, I fully agree with you. If I was a betting man, I'd go down and put money on that. I have not watched Eurovision for years and years and years. I think it's absolute crap. It's gutter TV, and why are we still involved in watching it? I remember a friend of mine from school years ago, he was obsessed with the Eurovision. He loved it, and he used to hold big parties every year and big piss-ups. I used to go for the free beer. I had no interest in the Eurovision whatsoever. But there you go. There's nothing cushy about life in the Women's Auxiliary Balloon Corps. Andy, please help. I'm giving away a weekend in Camp Quirky. Can't waste the tickets. Yeah, Matt Michael, he's got a couple of tickets going for Camp Quirky. He can't go, and he wants to give the tickets away for free. If anybody is interested in that, I must admit I'm pig ignorant. I don't even know what bloody Camp Quirky is. Give me a message or look at the chat here, and perhaps we can sort something out there. But that's nice of him to do that if he can't waste the tickets. Yeah, sick of hearing about Partygate, absolutely. Andy the Gabby Cabby, Dad only was brought to the Rutland Centre. Yeah, I think we caught up there. I'm a Blackadder Goes Forth fan, Andy. Oh, I love that. I always remember the last episode, Jodie, where they all went over the top. You remember that? That was quite emotional, really, I thought, for for a comedy. Tap water in Slough used to be dangerous, as the government buried a nuclear submarine reactor at Burnham Beach, were they? Yeah, mad. I'll tell you another thing that I'm noticing lately. I saw a thing earlier on to do with chicken, and we appeared to be having chicken wraps and chicken everything pulled off the shelves because of some salmonella outbreak. And then I saw a thing the other day about hay fever sufferers might have a bit of a problem getting hold of what they need. And there appears to be, hi Anna Perkins, good to see you. There appears to be other things that are coming up, but mainly it's problem with food, the acquisition of, or the availability of, and I seem to see more and more stories about that lately, and it gets me thinking, what the fuck is going on here? It really does. Now, there are certain key things I look out for in the news to do with the Great Plan, is what I will call it, and I'm starting to see more of it. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm well, Anna Perkins. Thanks for asking. It's been an interesting day transport-wise, hence I'm sitting here in the Mercedes talking to you with a kind of jerry-rigged position. Bloodnose, yes, you are spot on. You picked up on what I was referring to. There's a couple of people in there mentioning the Top Gun movie, and somebody said, has anyone seen a recent picture of Kelly McGillis? Yes, I have. And it's amazing what coming off that Hollywood kind of lifestyle does to you when you return to normal America and don't act or anything anymore. Mind you, there's nearly 40 years in between the two, isn't there? But a bit of a contrast between then and now, for sure. And she was certainly good in her day, wasn't she? I mean, I'm very much looking forward to seeing the new movie. I think my wife and I are going to go and have a date night. She wants to oogle at Tom Cruise, and I want to oogle at the F-18s. So we'll see what happens there. But should be a good one, and it's got positive reviews all over. Somebody mentioned the moon earlier, and I can actually see the moon right above my house. It's up that way. Let's see if I can share it with you. There we go. You see it up there? It's a little bit blurry because of the camera exposure, but it's right up there above the house. So pretty full on. It's that's the trouble. I can't get a sit back where I put you. That's it. I can't get a fair enough thing of it. Get a bit of light on the subject. Because it just blurs out. I can't get the right exposure. But talking about science fiction-y type things for a minute. Where are we? There we go. Yeah, I'm a bit of a NASA buff. I always look at the planets, the moon, Mars, and what's going on around everywhere. I saw Jim Davison the other day make a video, and he said the first astronaut on Mars will be a black female astronaut. I think I know what he was getting at there. I saw a very interesting thing about Mars. I mean, they've got bloody probes and crap all over it, and they've even got this miniature helicopter that flies. But I saw a thing that says secret doorway built by aliens spotted in an image of Mars. And I thought, what the hell? I mean, have a look at this and see what you think of this. This is actually in a rock on Mars, and it looks like it's some kind of doorway to somewhere. And it looks very uniform, as if it's been cut out of the rock. And it could well be blood nose, but it just looked unbelievable when I looked at the picture. I'm going to try and find some coconut oil, try some shrubs. A picture of a perfectly carved out doorway has people thinking there might be little green men on Mars after all. Recent pictures from NASA's Curiosity Mars rover shows an intriguing feature which looks like a doorway nestled in the rocks on a Martian landscape. It looks so convincing that it can almost tempt you to believe that it leads to a Martian hideaway, or a gateway to another universe entirely. While the internet seems to be having a field day with conspiracy theories about the mysterious doorway, some Reddit users aren't buying it. Many party poopers have pointed out the door is likely just a shear fracture, the result of some kind of strain on the rock breaking part of it off. It's likely theory given Mars recorded its largest earthquake this month on May the 4th, although researchers are still trying to figure out what actually caused it. It does look weird. NASA said the image was taken on May the 7th as a geological feature known as Greenhoop Pediment by the mast camera on board Curiosity. A mosaic view of the images placed the doorway into better context than the initial image. UFO News debunker UFO of Interest said, watching it in context as part of the whole mosaic, we can see that little niche in a rock with other blocks, fractures, shapes, and other erosive features all over the rock face. So it looks like just a weird kind of geological formation kind of thing. Although the door-like rock formation appears big enough to fit people, in reality, it might only be a few centimetres or inches tall. One person wrote on Reddit, so what if it's only a few inches? How do we know what size our overlords will actually be? Yes, nanu, about that big. It's not the first time people have assumed pictures from a red planet to be traces of alien life. Just last month, a Martian crater showing alien footprints was clarified to be an important geographical landmark. Yeah, it's a camera trickery, isn't it, really? But I thought it just looked weird. It literally looked like a door carved into the thing. I mean, there's features on the moon as well of similar ilk that look like something else if you actually stare at them long enough and trying to work out what they are. I guess it's over millions of years where things have just fallen into place. This is the Daily Chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby, everybody, live from the Mercedes this evening, as we no longer have the bus. Well, we will do at some point in the not too distant future, but not now. If you haven't done so already, please give me a thumbs up tonight on the live stream. Let's get those numbers up. We want to get it up to 100 somewhere, if possible. And if you're new to the channel and haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to us. It's wonderful to see everybody as usual. Don't forget we're on other social media channels as well. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think I'm on Getter, although I don't go on there a great deal. I should get on Getter, shouldn't I, really? But there you go. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what everybody's got planned for the rest of the evening, but people are telling me I look absolutely knackered and worn out, so I'm probably not going to do a lot. Looks like something out of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Yeah, it looks like the obelisk, doesn't it? Wasn't aware that I had blocked. I don't think anybody's blocked Christine Helium Vibrations. I just think it's just YouTube playing silly buggers. That's where Elvis lives. I love it. I like how NASA, never a straight answer, airbrushed the pyramid and the face out of Mars photos. I wonder why. Yeah, I've seen that photo, and I know the one you're referring to. Christine is. So Christine said blocked her before. Did you say you blocked Christine before? I think if Christine cannot see me and the helium vibrations, but I can see helium vibrations, it's more likely Christine blocking us by accident, isn't it? There's two of us blocked by Christine. Half hour. It could well be. It could well be. I mean, there is all sorts of silly bugger type stuff going on. Sad it is. Question everything. That's correct. Absolutely correct. Many old images taken from there, the moon over the years, including hamsters and faces, and I am one of those who would live to find and see the evidence. Never say never. I just tried to look for the list of block people and don't even know how to find it. Big enough for Martian gnomes, Andy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like the moon landings to PJ Mosley, Swiss cheese, Andy. Yeah. So you never before said. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about people blocking people on here, and I swear it's YouTube just playing silliness. I really do. I can't see it being anything else. Strange image from the White House last night turned out to be President Biden, lost on the White House lawn. Oh, God, not again. I saw a thing in the paper the other day, something about Biden tripping up the stairs to Air Force One again. I don't know whether that's true or it's just a rehash of an old video. I've got to compare the two and see. Who knows? Buzz Aldrin gets very violent and evasive when asked about Apollo 11. Yeah, Christina, I don't know whether you knew the thing, but there was a guy that went round all the surviving Apollo astronauts and asked them to put their hand on a Bible and swear that they actually went to the moon. And Buzz Aldrin smacked this guy. I remember seeing the video footage. It was on YouTube for a while. Google how to find a list of blocked people. If I drop the phone, this happened with my old phone, which is Ask Glass. Buzz only goes mad on a full moon. Hi Andy, hope you're all okay. Did you get your car fixed? Mike Alligators asks. The answer is no, I didn't. Cheers Andy, it's seen a W. Friday the 13th. Is anyone going to watch a Freddy movie tonight? Yeah, maybe. The news story may be accurate, but the photo can be changed to something fake for clickbait. Oh yeah, always. The moon landings. Okay. Andy, you sound very subdued this evening. Are you okay? No, I'm fine, Mike Alligators. I'm just a bit out of my comfort zone, not in the usual car, and trying to paddle something together for you. And I am a little bit on the sleepy side. But no worries here. Thank you for your concern. I appreciate that. Well, I've never blocked people. Yeah, stop going on about blocking people. You'll give yourself a complex. They ought to put a Stanner stairlift on the stairs up to the aircraft. Or better still, get a president that can walk up them. That would be better. No. Right, I'm going to call it a night. That's PJ Mosley. Okay, see you later. Thanks for stopping by. Wallace and Gromit has found plenty of cheese on the moon. I don't know where my mum is, Alan Edge. I've not seen her this evening. I spoke to her briefly earlier, but not actually seen her. Anyway, folks, I'm going to wrap up proceedings for the day. I'm going to allow you to bugger off and enjoy the rest of your Friday the 13th. It was good to see everybody, and as I said, we've had to kind of jerry-rig a solution here because we're in the Mercedes for a little while by the looks of it until I get my bus back. I hope everyone's okay, and as I say, good to see you. Make sure you hit the like button on the chat before you go, and let's try and get that up to near 100, and subscribe to the channel also. Tomorrow I'll be here with a live again. I'm actually at home tomorrow as well, which would be nice. Get a bit of downtime, I think. And then I'll be back to doing some taxi work on Sunday onwards, and we'll have to see how we go. It's been an interesting week, and got another interesting week ahead, really, with various bits and pieces going on, and I'll tell you about things as and when, if I can, when I can, and if they're relevant, as always. I really do. I want to say how much I appreciate all of you coming along to these live streams every night. We've got a nice little community going here, Andy's Army, and we'll get together and have a chinwag every day, which I really quite enjoy. Just reading a bit of news, having a bit of goss with all of you, seeing what you're up to. It makes it all worthwhile, as well as the other content as well. So I'm going to sod off, as they say in some quarters. I'll see you tomorrow. Toodaloo.